examples of HTML attributes. So before we start with the example, I want to show you a live code editor we can use to prototype our example. So you can just go to Google, type in code sandbox. So the first result you see, code sandbox, you can open it. So we can use it to prototype React, JS, Vue, Angular, HTML5, and more examples. But for the course, we'll be focusing on HTML5. So when you click on HTML5, it shows this window. So you can collapse this window by clicking on the sidebar here, which collapses the window. So here we have the document, HTML document, index.html. So that means when it ends with .html, the browser knows that this is an HTML document. So you can see the tags we have here. So the doc type tells the browser that this is an HTML5 document, doc type HTML5. We have the HTML, which we've also spoken about. This is like the root tag. This is a language, tells the browser that this document is written in English language. So we have the head tag also. So the head tag contains so many things about these documents, such as the encoding of the file, it's UTF-8, viewport, scale 1, so that means initial scale is 1, and so many other things. And the title of the document, so you can see the title of this document is what? Static template. So we can decide to change the title. And we also have the body. This is the body. This is where the content that is being rendered is placed. Like you can see that this is a static template. There is no bundler or bundling involved. You can see that's the content that is displayed. We can decide to change this. Let's change this to something like welcome to Instinct All. You can see. So once you save it, and do Control S to save it. So once you save, you can see the preview window changes to welcome to Instinct Hub. So now let's go back. So you can see that some of your text are extending through the window. So you can come to View, toggle word wrap. So it wraps your text so it can fit into the window, the editor window. So now let's start with the first HTML attribute. So the first image attribute we'll be looking at is the Src attribute, which is also the source attribute. It is used majorly on image tags. So it is used to specify the path to the image you want to display. That means where the image you want to display is located. So let's do this. So we have the image tag, start with your left angle bracket, img. We have the src, that is the name of the attribute, equal to the value will be placed in a quote. So let's close our HTML, let's close the attribute, let's close the tag, slash this, slash left angle bracket. So now, in between the quotes for the value, this is where you place the link. So let's get a link. So now we're placing this link to display the logo of Instinct Up logo. So now let me place that here in between the quotes, because the values are always written in between quotes. So once we save it, so we have Instinct Up. Can you see the image here? So that's the attribute. So it tells the image tag that this is where you should get the image to display from. So in the preview window, you can see the image is showing. So the next attribute we'll talk about is the alt attribute. So the alt attribute also is also used on the image tag. So it is used to specify, it is used to tell the image tag that this is a description of the image we are trying to fetch. So whenever the image is not valid or is corrupted, or the path to the image is broken, the value in the alt attribute is always displayed. Okay, let's look at an example. So we write the name of the attribute, which is alt, equal to the description. This is an instinct of logo. So we'll close the quotes. So we have this. So now the alt will not display. But if we are to inspect, which is another thing, we'll see the alt there. But how do we make the alt display on the browser? So let me edit the link. Let me make it a wrong link. So let me save now, because I removed the B from the instinct of. Can you see? So now we can see that this is an instinct of logo. Why? Because the path to the image is wrong. So it could not get the image, it could not fetch the image. So instead of just displaying this random icon, it will display the icon, and with the alt, that is the description of the image that ought to be there. So that's why we have this. This is an instinct of logo. So that's one example. So another attribute we want to look at now is the link attribute. The href attribute. It is also used on the link tag. It's used on the link tag. So let's see how it works. So what's the href attribute? It's used to tell us about the direction the link tag should redirect to. I know you've gone to so many browsers, you've seen on their navigation page, you've seen home, products, about us. And when you click on about us, it takes you to a new page that tells you about the company, the company that owns that website. So now let's have an example here now. So first we write our tag, the a tag, write the attribute href equal to the value, which is placed in between the quotes. So let's write https colon www.instinct.com. So let's close the opening tag. Then place in our content. Instinct of. Close the tag. So let me replace the image back. So we have our image there. So we have instinct of now. So let me save this file. Can you see? So it displays our text, the content of the tag, which is instinct of. So this shows us that it's an hyperlink tag. That means when you click on it, let's click on it and see what happens. Okay, sorry, since I made a mistake here, so they have to be colon here. So let's click on it again now. So I think it's not showing. So we can see that when we click on the link, it's not going. Why? Because this platform blocks any redirect for security reason. So what you can do now is just copy the address in the preview window, copy it, open a new tab by clicking the plus on beside the tabs you have on your browser, then paste the link in the address bar. So now we can now see what we've been doing. So now click on that link now. So you can see that when you click on it, it opens Instant Hub. So that's what the href tag does. Links you directs you to another page that has been specified that has been given as a value to that attribute. So let's go back to our editor. So let's look at another tag. So now we'll be looking at the style tag. So the style tag can be used to style almost all HTML. The style attribute can be used to style almost all HTML tags. So it is used to write inline styles. So how do we go about it? So first, we have this h1 element here. So let's reload our browser. Let's reload our browser so we can display our content. So it's showing now. So now, how do we write the style attribute? So we have our header here. You can see the header is showing welcome to Instinct Hub with the color black. So if you want to change, if you want to add the style attribute to modify the behavior of this welcome to Instant Hub, we can always write the style attribute, the name of the style attribute, which is the name of the attribute, which is style, equal to the quotes where we are to place the value. So what attribute of this header h1 element do we want to modify? Okay, let's modify the color. Let's say color. Let's give it something like red. Let's give it a color red. So let's save. So when you save it, so it has changed to red. So it has changed to red. So let's also modify another behavior, like let's change the font size. Let's give it 10 pixels. Let's make it smaller. You can see. So we've reduced the size of the h1 element. So this is a style attribute. You can see that we've been able to use it to control some of the behaviors of h1, such as the color, such as the size. So that's the purpose of attributes. So the last attribute we'll be looking into is the lang attribute, which is already written here on the root HTML tag. So it is telling this browser that everything written in this content, in this file, are written in English language, such as Instinct Hub, which is an English language, the value of the alt attribute, which is this is an Instinct Hub, the H1 content, which is welcome to Instinct Hub. So the browser interprets everything as an English language. That's the essence of this lang, meaning English. And you can decide to specify what type of English. You can decide to put hyphen US to specify that it is an American English that you want to use. You can decide to remove it and put FR to show that maybe the content of the document is written in French, and so on and so forth. But let's change it back to English since we are working with the English language. So that's basically. But there are more attributes, more HTML attributes. So we can always go to the Google and browse up HTML attributes. So it brings up a list of web pages. We have W3 School, where you can read more about HTML attributes. You can see the source attribute we've talked about, width and height attributes, alt attributes, and so on and so forth, style attributes, title attributes. And you can also check, let's go back to our results. There's also one other reference you can use, which is Mozilla Developer Network doc. So you can see also attribute list. We have accept, access key, action, align, allow alt, async, so many attributes. You can go through them and familiarize yourself with them. Yeah. So thank you very much.